It's time for the Steve and Kyle podcast with Kyle.
What has it been? Probably 4 years since you last did one of these for
a
radio station.
I did one. I did one in 2020.
COVID year?
Yeah,
really?
COVID year.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Seems irresponsible. Short-sighted, thoughtless, dick move. But...
And Steve.
What is the equivalent that you can think of where you really, really like it? Okay. That you could ask me. Maybe it doesn't have to be, like a go somewhere hobby, but even if it was...
we're going to a monster truck show.
For God's sake. And I...
Live on tape from APS 3 point whatever, it's the Steve and Kyle podcast.
I feel like naming is ready to be updated now that we got our third official host here in the studio with us.
That's right, and I got to tell you, he is needy. He is a needy co-host.
He sure is.
And I got to tell you, considering... as needy as he is compared to the contributions he's going to offer this podcast.
Yeah.
One-sided.
Yeah.
Real one-sided.
You may hear the tippa-tappa in the background. That is our buddy, your friend and mine, Toby.
Makes you rethink the hardwood idea, huh?
Annette said right as we were coming down here, she's kind of been laying the groundwork for this for the last couple weeks. She said, what do you think about Toby being a studio dog, a podcast dog? And I get it. It's a bit much upstairs if you're on your own parenting wise with a toddler, nearly 3 years old. 3 years old in just a couple of weeks. We got a 12-week-old, and then we have a 12-year-old dog and a something-year-old dog. So she's been saying, well, maybe Toby would like being downstairs with you. And I agree. I mean, he loves you. You are, against all odds, you are actually someone's favorite person.
Well, listen, it's a constant battle.
No offense.
It's a constant battle in this house, especially, because it will go week to week with your daughter.
Yeah, how did it go? You didn't really have much interaction with her.
No,
today,
this
right?
morning we had a sleeping Boulin Wall. So you and I kind of snuck downstairs with Toby.
Yeah, normally you come in and the dogs greet you there, but the Boulin Wall, baby Boulin Wall, was sleeping, so we didn't want to wake him up. So I opened the door and had the dogs run out on the front lawn to you. So I did I waited for her to see me there as I was waving to her. She was sitting on the couch watching something. And Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, I believe. And then gave her a wave. She looked over, acknowledged me, and... Did she? Did she acknowledge you? Saw that I was waving, and then promptly covered her eyes with her hands. Yeah. And I said, well, we will try again next week. Yeah. As it is a constant battle here. Toby, my best friend, Evelyn... the occasional acquaintance? Yeah, I think that's fair to say. Occasional friend? I mean, it was nearly a couple of weeks ago where I couldn't get her to shut up in her bedroom about the new bed that you had built. Yep. All of her books on the bookshelf. All of the stuffed animals that she enjoys. And then today, right back to where it started. Yeah. Nothing. Big old bag of nothing. How's that make you feel? It's fine. I mean, listen, it's your kid. Yeah. She's the broken one, not me. Tell me. That's pretty clear. Tell me about it. Dumb kids. Just the dumbest. Aren't they? I don't know if you saw, I tweeted the other night that I love lying to kids. And so we were out for ice cream. I was back in New Jersey for a couple of days, and we went out for ice cream. It was me, my mom, Evelyn, my sister, brother-in-law, and their two kids. And
this ice cream place was next to, or right down the street from, this place called the Old Columbus Inn. Mm-hmm. It was one of those places that was like a bar, a little restaurant, bar, local place, but it's been closed for years. Mm-hmm. Well, somebody finally bought it, and they're like renovating it, and they're going to reopen it. But the story was that the Old Columbus Inn was haunted. So my nephew was trying to get me all spooked out, and he said, "Uncle Steve, have you heard the story of the Old Columbus Inn?" And I was like, "Oh, no, tell me." So he said that there were workers in there, and they saw a ghost, and then they ran out the door.
Wow.
It was haunted.
Really?
So the ice cream place just happened to be right next to an old firehouse.
Who'd have thunk it?
So I said, "Oh, yeah? Well, have you heard the story of the haunted firehouse?" And since kids are generally dumb.
How old?
8.
Oh, extra dumb.
Yeah.
Extra dumb at that age, too. Different kind of
7.
dumb.
8 or 7. Oh, God, I never remember. No, he's 8. 8 and 6.
Okay.
Maybe 5. Mm-hmm. Don't know. A lot of them all in the same general age range. So I said, of course, making this up as I go. "Have you heard the story of the old haunted firehouse?" And both of them, like, you see their eyes get bigger, and they move in closer, and they say, "No, what happened?" So I started to tell them the tale of Captain Hatchet.
That's not a bad one. Okay.
Captain Hatchet, he was the fire captain.
Okay.
And they went out on a call one night.
Do you have like a hatchet for an arm, or?
No, you dumb idiot.
Oh, that's...
Come on.
That's my mistake. Quite obviously, I apologize.
Captain Hatchet went out on a call with the rest of the guys one night. House was on fire, and Captain Hatchet ran into the house. But he suffered smoke inhalation, which was difficult to explain to children of that age what smoke inhalation was. Mm-hmm. But I digress. I kept going with the story. He inhaled a lot of smoke, and then his brothers pulled him out of the flames. Yeah. Took him back to the firehouse. But it was too late.
Oh, no.
Captain Hatchet went crazy and burned the firehouse down.
Oh, okay.
As a side note, Captain Hatchet had a hook for a hand.
Oh.
And an umbrella for a foot.
When did that happen now?
That was before this whole
Obviously,
whole thing took place.
I can only apologize for having such a dumb question.
And so I hoped that would spook them, but instead my niece Quinn grabbed my hand and started running toward the firehouse and saying, "We have to go find him."
God, kids are just the dumbest, man.
Meanwhile, a half hour later, I got a text from my sister. She said, "Thanks. Andrew is scared to death of Captain Hatchet and won't go to bed."
Oh, Steve.
So I took my bow and said, "That is a compliment."
That's actually a really good little horror character there.
Captain Hatchet?
Yeah.
I know. I just the fact that he has the hook. See, you with a name like Captain Hatchet, you would expect the hatchet for a hand or something, or always carries a hatchet. But no, curveball, hook for a hand, umbrella for a foot.
Sorry, I'm trying to remember all these details for the poll. Mm-hmm. Is Captain Hatchet the crazed fire chief with a...
Fire captain.
Sorry, with a hook for a hand and umbrella for a foot. A good horror icon. And I think you're gonna. I'm sorry. I think you're gonna come out on top here.
I do too.
This is a really good off the cuff.
This is an untapped market when it comes to horror. And I mean, you throw in a mask, a bat.
You got one bat flying by, and you've got an audience.
Things that go bump in the night.
Yeah.
I mean,
in general, the fire helmet can already cover a lot of the face, so you don't really know who it is until he unveils. Well, I mean, the umbrella for a foot would probably give it away, but...
I'm not really sure how that actually works. Is the umbrella open?
I feel like...
Or is it one of the umbrellas that you can fit, it collapses, and like a woman could carry it in her purse.
Yeah, it definitely collapses.
You hit the button, and then it pops out, pops open.
So I feel like it's probably way too short, So he's still got a real big limp appearing walk.
Yeah.
Because it's a small umbrella when condensed shut. But if he walks with it open, Captain Hatchet can't even get through a doorway.
Yeah, very tough. Very tough.
Because then he's cocking his legs sideways to get the umbrella through upright if it's open. He's just got a pool of water at his foot.
Right.
Maybe that's why he's so mad.
Yeah. I mean, you would be.
Constantly trying
because
to...
the umbrella is going to be upside down.
Yes.
So it's doing the opposite of what an umbrella is meant to do. It's catching water instead of, repelling it away.
He keeps ruining his umbrella and having to replace it because he's trying to close it every time with his hook hand. Mm-hmm. And he keeps shredding the umbrella. Mm-hmm. All while wearing his fire helmet. Mm-hmm. Because he goes everywhere in costume. Can you imagine Captain Hatchet out of costume, like everyday Captain Hatchet?
No.
Everyday Captain Hatchet's wearing, flannel shirt.
Well, he blends right in. That's what's so scary about him. I mean, again, minus the umbrella for a foot.
Right.
Probably
but he's
a little bit easier to conceal the hook hand.
Yeah, but he's probably covering up most of the umbrella with a pant leg.
That way he just has to wear bell bottoms.
But the problem is every time he steps a little too hard, the umbrella pops out again into his pant leg.
Very embarrassing for Captain Hatchet.
I forgot to text you the other day, and I'm glad you brought this up, Steve. Happy official launch of spooky season.
Oh, yeah, we are into spooky season, aren't we?
It is time for tales, and maybe you can regale Evelyn when you're putting her to bed one night here soon with the story of Haracorn and I can't remember the villain's name.
I don't remember.
That's a bummer. Because I was the hero.
Right.
Obviously.
I don't remember the story, so you might have to fill in some blanks for me because I would hate to tell it inaccurate.
Well, we don't have an official story. This was going to be on a piece of merch for us, and it might honestly be up there.
Probably. I haven't gone to the merch store in years.
But it is officially the season where we celebrate that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's nearly time for, what was it Corn Man?
That's what it is.
Is
Corn Man and Scaracorn? No.
I think so. That all sounds vaguely familiar.
That is right on the front of the merch page. Is you can buy your Corn Man shirt right now, taking care of all your corn needs. Also, perfect time for the Stevel and Vile Horrificast shirt.
Oh yeah,
our friend Philip made. That is a delightful design there. Also on the front page.
What is that?
That is SteveandKyle.com/merch. And, of course, my favorite merch that you have to click on to see because it's mature. My name is blank. I'm a special breed of dickhead because I'm wearing my own merchandise. And dickhead is about 3 times bigger than the other font.
Oh, boy, I forgot about BMX Dreams Never Die.
Yeah, there's some classics on there.
Yeah.
Some absolute classics. The Cheers font logo, the athletic style, XXL shirt. My favorite, I think, of all time, the Steve design with his sad sprinkler in his barren yard wearing Crocs, Federal Boob Inspector shirt, and the Make Boobs Great Again hat. Obviously, there's the classic Pirate Pete Realty, where, again, the scheme there was one of the dozen or so times you've been looking for a home.
Yeah.
I was going to be there to... Oh, no, this is when you were trying to sell your home.
Yeah, I don't remember how...
Well, I remember this specifically.
The pirate aspect of
You were trying to sell the house, and you had run into some issues because the township needed to charge you to hook up to the city sewer.
Oh, boy, don't remind me.
So you were having issues finding a buyer knowing that price tag was on the way.
Yeah.
So I said I was going to show up to your open houses in a pirate costume and say, "Yarg!
There's treasure in them floorboards.
Okay. Gotcha. It all makes sense now.
Obviously, a pretty fail-proof plan because, as we all know, not that much later, you sold the house.
Yeah. Yeah, it did.
You're welcome. Some awesome designs there, though, if you're looking
I
for...
forgot a Piano Pals where we're playing a double-decker piano.
Some of those old ones are beautiful. They're still drunk. Steve only pukes with his shirt off.
Yep.
That is just... The design on that alone is worth the look. You wearing your thong flip-flops with no shirt. Both hands gripping the side of the stall.
Yeah.
Leaning over, queasy like.
Yeah, my shirt is strewn about. It's hanging over the door.
That's right, because everybody knows in a public restroom, you treat it much like TV shows treat college dorm rooms.
Yeah.
Where if there's, a sock on the door handle, don't come knocking.
Means some hot lovemaking is going on.
Except in this regard, it's near theme parks. It's apparently universal language.
Mm-hmm.
That if there is a T-shirt and widespread legs in a stall, there's going to be some vomiting.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Boy, I like the, what was the one? Where was it? The Sports Tate shirt.
Oh, yeah, the hot take
where
shirt.
You were a volcano.
Oh, it's so good.
It's really good. The hottest takes in podcasting. Are we going to get another Sports Tate this calendar year?
Yeah. Yeah, I can do that.
You ever think about doing look, this is an untapped market.
Yeah.
A podcast all about sports gambling and sports betting.
Mm.
Nobody does one of that.
I haven't heard anything about it.
Mm. I mean, you regaled me with your spreadsheet last week, which I'm 100% impressed with. Both the spreadsheet alone, amazing, but the balance in the account blew me away.
Yep.
So congratulations on your success.
Thank you. Another very productive August. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Finished up.
We're technically still in the pandemic, right? So you just keep on cashing in.
Yeah. I mean, this one isn't even at the behest of other people.
Mm.
This is my own doing something correctly.
Yeah.
Right? Finished the month of August, Steve. Thank you for asking. Up $1,420. Happy to do it.
Beautiful. By the way, I posted a picture on social media of our special guest host, Toby, in the studio with us this morning, laying on the rug right next to a opened Mambo wrapper.
Mm-hmm. Which apparently was not good enough for the trash can. Did he take that out of the trash can, or did it just not make it there? Okay, I thought so.
That was in the garbage. Toby took it out.
Steve, you traveled this weekend. We both
did.
were in the air.
You traveled this weekend.
We
too.
missed each other by mere hours at the same airport, both directions.
Both directions. Yeah, I was home, or I left maybe like an hour before you guys last week, and I got back. Sounds like about an hour and a half before you yesterday.
Mm-hmm. How did yours go? Was everything as smooth as you hoped? I mean, you had direct flights?
Direct flights.
You and a 2.5 or almost 3-year-old?
Yeah, direct flights both ways. We had no issues. Flights were on time. Heck, our flight back yesterday landed like 25, 30 minutes early.
Oh, wow.
Everything went well. We had one minor hiccup. It was on Saturday morning. We were going to go over to see my nephews, Daniel and Joey. They were playing in a soccer tournament. So they had a bunch of games. And they kind of, like, a couple of them kind of overlapped. We're like, oh, perfect. If we go over at around noon, we'll be able to catch, or like around 10 a.m. or so, we'll be able to catch Daniel's game and then go right over, watch Joey's game. Perfect. So we did that. We got up early. My mom made some breakfast for Evelyn, made her a couple of waffles, and sliced up some fruit, and boy, was she loving it. She was just having a blast. Everyone was happy. We hop in the car, we're driving over there, and we were 5 minutes from Daniel's game. And I'm looking in the back seat, talking to Evelyn. She looks at me. She says, "Dada, my belly hurts."
Oh, no.
I was like, okay. Because that normally means she's got to poop. Mm-hmm. She hadn't pooped yet that morning. So I just said to my mom, I was like, hey, when you pass like a McDonald's or whatever.
Yeah, anywhere with a public restroom.
Pull over. We'll run in real quick. Mm-hmm. Well, it escalated quickly, and within about 5 seconds, she was like starting to tear up.
So it was becoming urgent.
Yeah. And we were in a spot where we had at least like another mile or two to go before we were going to get onto a road that had any kind of businesses.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen because the next time I turned around, a fountain of breakfast was shooting out of her face. She puked all over the place, all over herself. And understandably was very upset. I'm like, oh, crap. What are we doing now? And it smelled terrible. It was the worst smell I've ever smelled. So we finally got to a spot where we could pull over. It was in the parking lot of a dollar store. I sent my mom in. I was like, go in and just buy some paper towels. Luckily, I had the diaper bag, so I had some wipes, had a change of clothes. I had, change of clothes for the bottom half, because typically if there's going to be a diaper blowout or bathroom incident, it's not going to affect the shirt. Well, it didn't matter because she was wearing a dress. It was all over her. Complete mess. So I go around to the back of the car, open the door, and I was like, all right, let's get you cleaned up. She is just beside herself upset. So I took the seatbelt off, but then I realized, I can't just let go of the seatbelt because then it's going to retract back into the little reel.
Yeah.
And it's covered in barf, so I don't want that. So I had to clean all.
Then you'll be retracting and pull for hours trying to get every last piece out.
So I have to clean the seatbelt off first, all the while she's crying. And then, when I tell you she is covered, like she barfed straight down, so the majority of it on the bright side, she kind of caught the majority of it.
Yeah, so now you've got like a bowl.
Yeah, but
like
it wasn't.
You got to hold the bottom of the shirt up to really make a nice bowl.
But
a bowl of vomit.
It was all contained like in the car seat. It didn't get none of it got on the actual car's seats, front, back, floor, nothing. Everything was self-contained. So I finally clean off the seatbelt enough, and I go to take her out, and she's just crying and crying and saying, again, she's covered in vomit, and she says, Dada, I just need a hug. And I'm like,
get away from me. You're disgusting.
I felt bad. I basically gave her a bro hug.
From like a foot and a half away.
From a foot away. I just kind of tapped her on the back. Like,
pat her on the back of the head. Be like, don't pat too hard because you don't want it to fly everywhere.
Like, you're good, kid. You're good. So changed her, got her all cleaned up. But then she wasn't wearing her dress anymore because it was covered in vomit. So luckily we were right down the street from an Old Navy. I ran into Old Navy, found a dress.
Buy a couple clearance outfits.
Found a dress for $8 in her size. Came back out to the car, put it on, and we were on our way, man. It worked out.
The other clothes go in the garbage, or did you?
No, my poor mom is standing there because we had packed like a little cooler with some snacks and drinks and everything. So she's standing there with bottles of water, just pouring it on, and there's barf all over the parking lot. But luckily everything was, it sucked, but we were able to handle it pretty well.
Hey, boy, thanks for the waffles, Mom.
Yelling at Evelyn, like, you didn't even take your shirt off to barf?
Yeah, honestly.
It's like our family, it's our family tradition.
The only way you could have done this is if you removed your own dress in a public stall, hunched over, and vomited everywhere.
Yeah.
We had, that's funny you mentioned that, because a little over a week ago, before we had left on our little vacation, Katie and I, we put Reed to bed, normal time. A little after 12 a.m., he opened his door, and when you're dead asleep, that sound still startles me awake. Sure. Just the sound of the the door, opening, and then you hear the pitter-patter of feet. And it was a night of, I think it was raining and thunder and stuff, so I thought maybe that's why he got up.
Yeah.
And he said, can you lay with me? Which is usually his thing, like, hey, I woke up from this. Can you help put me back to sleep?
Yeah.
So Katie gets up.
Maybe, something like that.
Yeah. Well, there's an unofficial deal in our house. Because I get up with one or both of our dogs, typically anywhere between 1 and 3 times a night. Every night.
Sounds awful.
So if and when Reed gets up, which is incredibly rare, in the middle of the night, Katie gets up with him. So she got up with Reed, went to lay in bed with him, and it was maybe 3 or 4 minutes. And so I was just back to sleep, really. he was having some coughing issues anyway. He had
Okay.
Heard a couple coughs and hear Katie go, "Hey, Kyle, can you come in here?" Okay. I stand up and I go out there and she says, "Can you come take him? He just threw up everywhere on the bed." And he wasn't done.
Oh, okay. So there was a round 2.
It was still coming out. And to his credit, this kid handled it like a champ. No, I mean, granted, it was also about 1 a.m.
So he rallied? He puked? Did he do another shot right after that?
Yeah. Yeah, so I poured this kid another...
I mean, that's the only way to keep going. You rally.
There was no outburst.
Yeah.
No... You could tell he's upset because it's scary to kids.
Yeah, of course.
It feels really weird.
Yeah.
Their stomach and then all of that.
And that's something they've only experienced a handful of times in their life. Probably don't remember it really at all.
Right, and he wasn't exactly getting ready to go into Six Flags to go ride the hot new coaster.
Exactly. Like there are certain things where like you expect it.
He may have assumed he would be better off if, in fact, he were on his way to ride the newest coaster.
Yeah.
But in this regard, he did not because, well, it was bedtime. So I try to get him out of bed. You know, obviously at that point, you're trying to figure out what do we do with this quantity of
right.
stuff.
At that point, you're all about containing the disaster.
Yeah.
You know, like, do you scoop up? Do you just take all the sheets, roll them up into a pile, from right into the washing machine, turn it on the most soiled setting ever?
Yep, and say, I hope it's not too chunky to get filtered through.
No, I don't even worry about that. I just, that's what that machine is for.
So, I'm pretty sure that's exactly what happened. We didn't know if he was done, so I took his shirt off and we went and sat on a little stool in the bathtub, and he's shivering. He wants me to turn the water on, so there we are at 12:50. And I've got hot water.
Kind of taking a bath.
Yeah. And so we let that roll over his feet, and he's sitting there, just silent, just eyes open, staring around. And I said, "Are you okay? You okay?" And to his credit, totally fine.
Yeah.
Katie laid with him, because, again, that's the deal, for another however long after we cleaned it all up, changed all his sheets. So, you know, you're at that point, you're wide awake. Because the light, you can't really do that. I try to do so much of parenting and life at that time of day in the dark to not totally upset the apple. I feel like once a light switch goes on, that changes the wake up. It changes it from like, hey, it's a quick bathroom break, or hey, it's a quick I need a drink of water, to now, hey, this is an official interruption of the schedule.
You couldn't be more accurate on that. I have found the exact same thing. If the lights are on, it's like literally a switch is flipped, but in their brain, where they're like, all right, I am 100% awake now. It is daytime.
Yeah.
But if you keep those lights as dim as possible, your eyes don't really open.
Yeah.
You can kind of get them back to sleep somewhat quickly.
But this is one of those where you can't do it in the dark.
Yeah.
You know, we're not going to go sit in the bathroom if he has to vomit more. And it's really hard to even imply to a kid, hey, hang your head over the spot you poop
right.
if you have to vomit again.
That is a really weird thing that we as the human race have started, like, have done.
Yeah, but I mean, when you think about it.
You know something.
You're going to change it up? Are you about to innovate the vomit game?
What about a second toilet specifically for vomiting?
Okay.
So you never do your other business
right
in that one.
It's a vomit toilet only.
Maybe it has...
Or a vomit hole. Because I feel like having a full plumbed toilet is a waste for how infrequently most people vomit.
Okay. Hear me out on this.
Yep.
When you go to get your haircut, which I know, again, sorry, maybe a sensitive subject for you.
You know, I've been in a haircut place. Okay, actually, I think I told you this story a while ago. I paid for a haircut like less than a year ago.
Did they just laugh at you?
I said, just hit it with a half all the way around. And it took entirely too long.
You just take out the scissors and go, snip.
I was reminded why I don't go. Because of how long this thing took for so little maintenance.
Okay. Now, you may not remember this because it may have been a long time since you've
Listen, let's get to the story. We get it, okay?
Due to the fact that you are...
What does it look like in there?
Follically deficient.
Were you sitting in a pool? How do these places work?
Can you fly?
Do you have to take off all your clothes?
All right, you know the sinks that they have there?
Yeah, that with the little scooped out.
The little cutout.
Yeah.
Well, the cutout is perfect for, the back of your neck to rest in there, meaning it's also perfect for the front of your neck to rest in there.
All right. So a guillotine sink.
Maybe a low-down barf sink. So at about the same height as the toilet. Although, you know something? No. Scratch that. I want it higher than the average sink. So I can just stand there.
I feel like...
I don't like having to sit down.
Right.
Kneel down on the floor to barf. It's like... I don't know. It just makes you feel like you're even more pathetic than you really are.
But is it like the squatty potty where that position's really going to help you retch properly?
I don't know. I feel like I probably do better barfing standing up.
You think a standing vomit or retch is more efficient than a sitting or kneeling vomit or retch?
Efficient? I don't know. Level of comfort for me, yes. I'm definitely more comfortable barfing in a standing position.
I don't know that I've ever vomited standing. Well, I'm sure I have one of those where I don't fully remember it,
Well, I know for a fact that I did at Six Flags that day because it was an amusement park bathroom. There's no way that I'm kneeling down on the floor hugging the bowl. I didn't touch that toilet. That was the most efficient barf I've ever had. Shirt off, shirt back on.
Listen, I think there's still video out there. I did not believe you.
Yeah.
That you could get your shirt off that quickly. Like a ninja on this podcast, you showed me. I think it was less than a second and a half.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got the shirt off. So I am not here to doubt who I consider to be the vomit master in this podcast.
All right. So I'm I take like show notes as we're going along.
Yeah.
So I say, a very gross trip to the soccer game for Steve, a disgusting wake-up call for Kyle. We innovate the barfing game.
Yeah, and I have all these polls up as well at Steve and Kyle on Twitter. Mm-hmm. So there's something to be said about the difference in vomiting too, because there's the vomit you had at the theme park. Sorry, and I apologize for. Was it at the theme park or was it at the restaurant before the theme park?
No. It was at the theme park, but it was due to the food from the restaurant.
That's right.
We went to like the Bob Evans buffet.
So you had walked across the parking lot.
It was so bad.
You were walking up to the ticket line. You pushed a bunch of 6 to 8 year olds out of the way. Said, coming through. You guys got in and you thought something's not right.
Well, we had to back up even further.
Mm-hmm. You had the buffet.
I had met up with Doug the night before, and we had gone to a Hooters across the street from our hotel.
As a couple of bachelors on the run do.
So we went in there and ate a bunch of wings, and that's probably the most I've drank in 5 years.
Okay.
Like, we just sat down and catching up with an old friend, hadn't seen him in a while, and it happens every now and then.
Some nights, too, and I think I don't know if there's science, but there is some legitimacy to the idea. Some nights, it just goes down a little easier.
Nights, it's when you're with good friends, and again, hadn't seen them in a while, so you're catching up.
Never once had that here with you.
Well, no, we see each other way too often.
Yeah.
I mean, look, you're saying you want to go 6 months without interacting? You'd be answering prayers for me. We can do that. We can go. Can a podcast take a sabbatical?
Listen, we wouldn't be the first. Would we be better off? Would we come back better? Because that would be the thing that podcasts would say on their last show. Hey, we need to recharge. We're going to take 90 days off. We're going to come back better than ever. I don't know that you and I would, A, come back, 2, better than anything.
So A and 2.
Yeah, obviously. That's how you count, idiot. And then next is blue.
A2 and blue. Gotcha. Right, because you're going colors. You're going red, then white, then blue, obviously. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so blue would be 3. Yeah. or C. Okay.
But there's a difference in vomiting, whether it's that type or the drunken, severely intoxicated, because I don't know that the standing vomit is an option for the super drunk.
Well, I'm already picturing it. You have your hair cutting sink.
Mm-hmm. The guillotine sink, as I refer to it.
The guillotine sink. Okay, so it's got to be mounted between like 4'6" and 5 feet off the ground.
Yeah. So tall people, Robert, you big dumb wounded gazelle, you're out of luck.
That's the beauty of the vomit sink. You can have it customized to your height, but then you put those, like the bars that you see in a bathroom that's handicap accessible, like those. They come out of the wall, go down, and then back into the wall.
Yeah.
Well, you put them on the wall,
okay.
One on the left, one on the right side of the sink.
So now
that's what's bracing you. So
now short people are now doing pull-ups to get to the vomit sink in some cases.
Maybe we can rig it up so it has some kind of track system so it can raise and lower.
Yeah.
I mean, this is going to look really nice. It's going to blend in to any bathroom. Maybe you convert like an old linen closet into the barf sink closet. Grab on. It's got, there's no like little grate in the bottom of the sink. It's just an open pipe. So everything oh my God, I just had a better idea. You hook a garbage disposal up to it. So if there's some chunks.
Those are little. Those are small enough. Now, granted, you're going to need to plumb that through the wall to hook up to whatever type of.
No problem.
Okay.
This is all possible.
Next house coming between 6 weeks and
probably
a couple years.
Yeah, I mean, we're always looking for a deal.
Can I get it confirmed by you today that you'll at least investigate or bring up the idea to Annette of the guillotine vomit sink, which I think is a real nice selling name.
It's nice.
Yes, you put that in a Home Depot. You got families walking by going, "Oh, what's the guillotine vomit sink? That's something I could use."
Just call it the GVS for short.
That's right. And obviously the full name implies you're going to be killed.
Right. Your head will be cut off while you're puking into a sink with a built-in garbage disposal to grind up the vomit. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, we're nothing if not innovators.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
Disgusting wake-up
call.
Other
than that, travel went pretty good. That's a nerve-wracking time, man.
Other than that,
anytime with you and especially a toddler, you've got. Did you bring a stroller, car seat? Because you kind of had all that, right?
It was just me and her too. Worth noting, my wife stayed back here with baby Boole and Wall, and it was just me and Evelyn. But no, we did not do the stroller or the car seat because we got back to New Jersey. We then went from plane to train, took the train down to my mom's house.
That's right.
She picked us up at the train station, and she has the car seat and everything because she's got a bunch of grandkids.
Makes travel, especially in that situation, a lot easier than you having to do the stroller, car seat, all that stuff that you're trying to carry and push and do all that stuff while you got a almost 3-year-old running next to you trying to do whatever and vomiting.
The thing that threw me off the most, honestly, was checking a bag because I will do
anything,
whatever it takes to not check a bag. But we had to just because all of our stuff was packed into 2 bags, and every airline now charges like 3 times the price of your airline ticket to actually take things with you.
Yeah, it's even carry-ons at most airlines now.
I think I paid $40 for. Oh wait, no, I didn't. I paid $40 for $40 or $50 for a checked bag.
Okay,
and then you each get a carry-on item
or a personal item,
a personal item. But the good thing is, when you got a kid, they let you get away with nearly anything.
Oh,
because you can just do it's a diaper bag. But I had so much of I had my computer and an iPad, headphones, everything. I was like, diaper bag, real heavy, I know. But they don't question you at all.
Yeah, and I think that's probably been a thing in the past where they've gotten enough hate or blowback from they're harassing parents, They told me I have to get on the plane without diapers. Or told me it's an extra $50 to bring my breast pump.
Yeah. Boy, did I take full advantage of
the breast pump situation?
Not the breast pump situation, but the for families who need a little extra time boarding with young children. I was like, hell yes, I do.
Yeah.
Flight back yesterday, we were the first 2 people on the plane. It was amazing. Walked on. The only downside is you're then on the plane for like 10 or 15 minutes more. But man, that was
sitting
was so perfect. We had gotten to the terminal, and first thing we did was just stop to grab a little sandwich and a drink and everything because it was breakfast time. Got all of our stuff, sat down at a little table in the terminal, and as we sat down, they make the announcement: "Oh, we're starting to board flight 5, whatever, for early boarding for parents and with young children." And so I had just taken our sandwich out of the bag. I had just given Evelyn her drink. They made that announcement. I snatched the drink back from her, put everything back in the bag, and said, "Come on, let's go." And we shuffled over there, and we were the first ones on the plane.
Very nice. Well, hey, I'm thrilled it went well.
Taking full advantage of that.
Is this the most you've seen Brother Mike and your nephews in 6 years?
Yeah,
5
definitely.
years?
Yeah. I mean, the quickest turnaround. For sure.
Yeah, boy, probably ready to not talk again for another, couple years, figure a couple job changes, and then you guys will catch up in 2024.
We're pretty caught up. I mean, look, he is technically, he starts his job tomorrow. He is still an unemployed deadbeat as of the recording of this podcast.
That's right. We didn't mention it during the live stream. Mm-hmm. He was in the process of changing jobs, got a better offer.
Yeah.
And took it because he deals with finance, and as everybody knows, nothing but prosperity for the finance people, especially right now during the pandemic.
Well, look, the Sac-Sav over there in Luxembourg.
That's right. Everybody knows it's booming.
CCAV?
CCAV? Boy, he was real upset that we had no idea and we mispronounced it. I believe that's what spurred the conversation is what is it that you know that nobody else knows? Yeah. That's the first time I'd ever seen those letters, Steve. Mm-hmm. In that order in my life.
Yeah.
And there's probably stuff that you know about radio or broadcasting or whatever.
Every job has that, like the useless minutia that if you're not in that field. I mean, in your job, it's no doubt which color red is best for the denied stamp. Mm-hmm.
You guys talk about, barter and all the type of boring stuff and taking ads or giving ad spots
for
privilege of your voice. Mm-hmm. Wife and I took a little trip. We went to the City of Brotherly Love.
Oh, the Windy City.
That's right, Steve. The Magic City.
The city that never sleeps.
That's right. The Motor City we were in this weekend.
The city of the Sunshine State.
That's right. The Keystone State. That's where you were, isn't it?
It is.
Keystone?
Yeah. Keystone State. That is state of Pennsylvania.
Took a trip. We did the, one of the super budget airlines because it went straight back to Boston.
Boston.
Wicked smart.
Wicked.
And travel, everything, right on time. Nice. No real issues. I'm going to give you an option. I'm going to give you a list of items here.
Okay.
One of these items, what I want you to do first is rank them. Okay. And how I want you to rank them, Steve, is in terms of ease, quality, and thoughtfulness to eat on an airplane.
Yeah, it's always tough.
Okay, so this is food brought with.
Okay.
And I want you to rank them in terms of, let's go worst. Like, what is the worst item of these 4 to eat on an airplane?
Yeah, no problem.
And I want you to just take everything into consideration. Also, think about, the comical aspect of it as well, based on how silly would this look, that look, whatever.
Okay, kids, no kids. No kids.
No kids.
Right? Okay.
No kids.
That plays a big part.
Yeah, so let's say this is a person you see. I'm going to give you 4 food items. I'd like it if you could rank them for me. Mm-hmm. First item is oatmeal, a bowl of oatmeal.
Bowl of oatmeal? Not the worst.
I'll give you all 4.
Okay.
And then let's see what you would say. What is the most
ridiculous,
silly, dumb, ridiculous, whatever. Second item, corn on the cob.
Okay.
Third item, deviled eggs.
All right.
Fourth item, fish. Okay? What I'll tell you, One of those items was being consumed on my 9 a.m. Thursday morning flight.
Okay, so the timing definitely has something to do with it.
But first, before we go over what was on my flight, what would you rank as the most ridiculous, 1 to 4? What is the most ridiculous to take with you? Again, this has to go. This was not purchased from the airline. This is none of these items outside. I guess maybe you could buy an oatmeal at a.
Probably, yeah, like
but
an
let's
oatmeal
assume it's
or
not.
or a little parfait or something like that. Yeah,
let's assume it's not because I know it wasn't.
Okay, so again,
these are brought through security.
It was oatmeal, fish,
deviled eggs, and corn on the cob are the 4 items I filled this list in with.
Well, I'm gonna say what the easiest would be is deviled eggs because you handheld, boom, 2 bites, they're gone. Second would be oatmeal. Third, oh boy, I mean, there's. Can I get a better description of fish? Is it like a
not like sushi fish, but like you see,
like a fillet, like a flounder,
so it's like that,
like
pink orange color
salmon, probably.
Probably, yes.
I think that's going to be 3, and then corn on the cob, I think, is the most ridiculous one. But I could be convinced otherwise between fish and corn on the cob.
Okay.
I'm thinking that
I'm trying to get this
for smell purposes. Fish is going to be definitely the most ridiculous,
right? And that's why I filled out this list with different items, right? So there's ease related, right? Hey, oatmeal seems ridiculous. You need a bowl and a spoon, and
Yep.
And then the smell of fish and the deviled eggs and the sending a corn on the cob through TSA type of thing. Like
right.
All of these items have different levels of absurdity to bring on a morning flight, So Steve, I was able to sneak a couple pictures.
Oh, good. I love Covert Kyle. Are you going to post these on our social media?
Yeah, I'll post them and I'll make sure. Well, I shouldn't need to crop because you can't really see a face. Steve, can you tell me?
All right, let's see. Hand it on over.
What that woman is eating on a kitty?
I can definitely tell that is a big old cob of corn. That's ridiculous. Because corn on the cob. Again, the deviled eggs. It's weird, but it would be. I mean, you open it up, boom, down the hatch, 2 bites, it's gone. Corn on the cob, you got to work at. Right. Plus, there's always that one errant bite that like shoots corn juice 6 feet across the table if you're sitting there eating it, at a picnic.
Yeah, and there's barbecue. There's the hairs in there.
There's a bunch of cleanup afterwards. There's quite the aftermath.
And then you're sitting there with a loose cob.
Right. It's not like something that you can just kind of brush up into a napkin and get rid of easily. You have to say, excuse me, flight attendant, can I please throw out this eaten cob of corn?
I'm immediately wondering, hey, what happened here? Because it was 2 women. So they brought these corns on the cob. Corn on the cobs or corns on the cob?
Corns on the cob.
Corns on the cobs?
Boy, I might have to put that on
I just posted what is the most ridiculous food to eat on a flight. If I now post directly the corn on the cob question, I'll schedule it. So we have 3 options. Corn on the cobs, corns on the cob, corns on the cobs.
Yes. Could be any one of them.
They brought those with them.
Mm-hmm.
They carried them either in their bags or in their hand.
I assume that they just carried them in their hand, not wrapped up in anything.
Starbucks iced whatever in one hand.
Like a mocha latte.
And then a loose, buttered up cob in the other hand.
Did they have the little holders?
I didn't see the holders. I would have really
probably
appreciated.
Not. I bet they.
It's a stabbing object.
Sure, of course you can get through TSA with corn on the cob.
So,
but if you want the implement to hold it, no, that's where we draw the line.
So at some point, they obviously scrambled because they were then told, hey, put the corns on the cobs in the bucket so they can go through the scanner to make sure there's not a bomb in your cob.
It would be a good place to hide, though. We've heard of the shoe bomber. What was his name? Richard Reed.
That's right.
There's never been a cob bomber.
Oh, boy, did we just innovate the terrorism game?
Hey, we got a cob bomb here at TSA.
Oh, no, I got a kernel in my eye. It exploded. Okay. They put it through the machine, and then they went and sat waiting for the airplane. However long it was. 10, 20 hour, who cares? Yeah. They then got on the plane, got seated, and then pulled out of their back pocket, wrapped in that napkin. At that point, a cold cob of corn.
Yeah.
And just mowed it.
Yeah. Strange, to say the least. Not something I'd expect to see.
No, that one was what struck me as, that's it. It's on the poll. At Steve and Kyle, what is the most ridiculous food to be eating on a 9 a.m. flight? And those are your 4 options. Yeah. And then I will post the proper way to phrase it. Will also be on the poll as well. So, boy, outside of that, though, travel was nice and smooth. Yep. Didn't have any issues. My direct flights, and you hear, I think it's something like 30 to 40% of flights now are having
issues with delays
yes.
and stuff. Well, I think that you probably benefited like I did, too. We flew at kind of oddball times.
Yeah, relatively early, too. You know, they weren't 4:30 p.m. flights where the happenings earlier in the day could have affected those flights negatively. So, the visit to Boston was productive. Took my wife to...
Time out.
Yeah.
I got breaking news. I think Facebook Marketplace is overhearing our conversations because I just happened to look. Or? It just refreshed. Waste King L8000 1 horsepower garbage disposal right around the corner from us. $49.
By the way, thank you for mentioning Facebook Marketplace. We need to kick it in overdrive here next 2 weeks because we don't want to get past spooky season to solstice season without having a tree to strap on top of the Comanche.
Yeah, we got to keep an eye out
for our holiday parade float.
Yeah, because we're getting right into like real price gouging season.
Yeah, September is going to be the month because there's not going to be a ton of focus on that. And everybody knows September's eviction month, so everybody's giving away their garbage, including their fake Christmas trees, because they don't have a choice. It got thrown on the lawn. So yes, let's keep our. If you have one and you're somewhat local to the area, or you can get
if you want to buy us a brand new one, pre-lit. Oh, pre-lit would really make it easy.
But that would be tough because then we would still need to connect the power from
That's
it.
All right.
I really like the appeal of us just loosely stringing lights around the tree, and then that string of lights going to whatever our power source is. So you know.
Yeah, the power I'm not worried about. I'm going to have a little thing for us to plug right into.
Yeah, and we'll obviously have to give Seinel and Ryan Young make sure you keep on the throttle so it doesn't die.
My God, how perfect would that be
if we die in the middle of the parade and Rusty in the Solstice Man costume has to push us? So if you have a Christmas tree, a used one, does not matter the condition. We don't really care. Yeah, preferably 6 feet because I think that's the standard height. And you are willing to part with it for free or whatever. If you're selling it, that's fine too. We will pay and we will love to use this. Be aware, this is probably being used for the holiday parade float and then being discarded.
Yeah. Asterisk, we will not pay.
So everything we just said, asterisk, no money.
Yeah, I mean, if it's early enough where if you just have one that we can borrow for the day, and then it'll adorn your house for the next 6 weeks. Yeah, cool, even better.
We would just need it by, I believe that was Saturday, November 19th, it's a 6 p.m. holiday parade. We're still not in it officially, but we're going to get on that here this week.
This is the week that things start to happen.
Well, and it's not by fault of minimal effort.
No, we've been trying.
I've sent 3 to 4 emails.
Yeah.
To different emails around the township or around the city asking about the process. I have received 0 response. So the next step is one of us simply needs to
I'm just going to stop.
walk on in and say, hey, the big shindig on the 19th, we've got a float, nothing dirty, nothing inappropriate. It's going to be a truck, hopefully, with maybe a trailer hooked on the back.
Yeah. Just need a little bit more time.
But anyway, the Boston trip was lovely. Boston is a city I don't think I need to go back to.
Yeah, you've been there a couple times at this point, right?
Yeah, both in very quick spurts. So the first time we stopped there was honestly an evening on a road trip back in 2008, and we drove through. We went into Fenway as a game was ending, so they let us kind of walk around for a minute. The second time was when I was there with you for 12 hours.
Yep.
And we jammed just an eternity's worth of stuff into that 12 hours.
Yeah.
And this was the third time, and I hope I'm not offending anybody.
Have you done it all?
No, because I'm sure I'd have local whatever saying you didn't go down to this one pub I know. Mm-hmm. And that's the best pub in all the pubs of
all
Boston.
all the land, yeah.
But if I were to give you just a list of what we did when we got there Thursday at just before noon until we left Sunday at 9 a.m., jam-packed.
Okay.
Okay.
So you took full advantage.
Yeah, spent half a day in Salem, Massachusetts, did a ghost tour, did the Cheers Bar, did the Red Sox game, did the Freedom Trail.
Nice. The Park Your Car.
Yeah.
And the Harvard Yard.
We did a lot. We did enough.
Yep.
And
saw a Bruins game. Saw a Red Sox game.
Same day.
Saw a Patriots game. And saw a Celtics game. All at once.
Had a cannoli, which again, our friend Nikki has never been more wrong about anything in her life.
Nikki, I love Nikki to death. Nikki is one of those people that when I see her, I genuinely feel joy because she is a wonderful human. But wonderful humans can also be wrong about things.
Oh, just so wrong, too. The idea that you could not love a cannoli is almost offensive.
Almost?
I'm going to put that in the poll.
I'm offended. I mean, not enough to strain a relationship because I still want Nikki to be a part of my life. But man, it's a real strike against you, Nikki.
Yeah, it's not great. It is a delightful food, not just for dessert, but also all times of the day.
I feel like we got to win her back. We got to win her back over to Team Cannoli.
I don't know how. We brought her to what is regarded as one of the
that's true,
best cannoli places in all of cannoli land.
Did I tell you that I have a cannoli place in Philly?
You do?
I got a cannoli guy in Philly.
How do cannolis ship? Do cannolis ship well? Do they have to be chilled? Because they're not sold chilled.
I feel like I might have told you about my cannoli guy before.
I don't know.
You need to, okay.
Of all the guys to have, having a cannoli guy, that's a
good.
nice thing. I mean, a lot of people got, back at least before it was becoming legalized. Hey, I got a weed guy. I've got
guy. I got a cannoli guy.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
Can you?
His name is Gussie.
Can Gussie? Do you have Gussie? Like, are you friendly enough with Gussie that you email or do you text?
No. Gussie, to be fair, Gussie is not my cannoli guy. Gussie is my uncle's cannoli guy. He's a longtime family friend. Runs an amazing bakery out of like a row home in Philly. And it's one of those places that on holidays, people are looped around the block.
Yes.
Waiting to get cakes and pies and cannoli and all sorts of stuff from him. But my uncle has been friends with him for years and years and years. So every Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever, you name the holiday, there is always a massive spread from Gussie that he sends over with his love on the holiday. It is some of the best food I have ever eaten in my life.
So what I need to figure out right now. I don't know if you need to contact your uncle, or I don't know if you need to get a hold of Gussie yourself.
You know something? I'm going to give Gussie a plug here.
Because I would...
Free plug, free of charge. Iskro Pastries.
Iskro?
ISGRO. Iskro's Pastries. Christian Street in Philadelphia. Fantastic.
We get...
I wonder if we can... Oh, order online?
No.
We can order straight from Gussie.
We're not ordering online like a bunch of plebes. Okay? You got a guy. Your uncle's got a guy. You got a guy.
Yeah.
We need the guy.
According to this, it can be delivered in 29 minutes.
Boy, I have a feeling it's... Let's try it out.
Let's give it a shot.
Because in our never-ending quest to eat all the foods on air, the next step has to be one of Gussie's cannolis.
Oh, the signature cannoli, a Philadelphia classic. Only 3 people in the world know the secret family recipe for Iskro's award-winning cannoli. Here's what we know. It involves a spoon, homemade wine, and an antique marble slab. The result is crunchy, creamy, sweet, melt in your mouth perfection, an icon since... Go ahead. Try and guess.
Boy, that level of buildup?
Yeah.
1950s?
They were already well into their prime in the 1950s.
Okay.
You going to guess again? Or
1935.
Come on. If the cannoli recipe was human,
He'd be dead.
It would be in its mid-30s, early 30s by that point. So
I was not like I was preparing to tell Gussie that he was a liar, but I did just search how old is the cannoli just to figure out if he was a liar. Creation of the cannoli took place in or around the city of Caltanissetta. Between 827 and 1091, they were eating these delicious treats. So what, 1915?
1904. Since 1904.
This cannoli is 118 years old.
Happy birthday to the cannoli.
Oh, thank you. Can't be said enough, I'm sure is what the cannoli would say. We need cannolis here. Because now I'm on a cannoli
kick?
Yes.
Okay.
I absolutely am.
Getting us these cannoli.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
Yeah.
Because, by the way, if you want to stop sounding like a real a-hole and calling them cannolis, no. Cannoli. Cannoli is the plural.
Of course. I can only apologize. Hope this doesn't remove my... No, I don't care.
For just $30. We can get the at-home cannoli kit.
No, I don't want that. I don't want to make my own. I want them made. Okay? Because they've been doing it for 118 years.
IskroPastries.com.
They obviously know how to make them.
Now, if you click on... They have a whole page dedicated to cannoli in the shop. You can get the classic cannoli set of 6. Mascarpone cannoli set of 6. Chocolate mousse cannoli set of 6. Oh, they're out of stock on that. The at-home cannoli kit, $30. And then, curiously, the chip and dip tray. Not sure why that's on the cannoli page. Might be a wrong tag or something. But I'm going to get these. I'm going to have... I think that it's worth it.
My only concern about at-home cannoliing...
It's probably a sentence that... You might be the first one to ever say that.
Is that they're not going to provide enough filling. Because when you buy one of these cannoli at the shops, that filling has to properly ooze out both sides, and then if you really want to top it off, you dip both ends of that filling sticking out into chocolate chips.
Sure. Yeah. This I think that we're going to be okay on this because look, again, they're the innovators. Been doing it for 118 years.
Okay. All right.
So it comes with the pastry bag and everything.
Oh, it better.
So
yeah, I'm not squirting it in there with like a ranch dressing tube.
Like a caulk gun.
Okay.
Although I bet that would probably work pretty well.
Podcast cannoli coming up in the next few weeks.
I think that again, I could easily get this shipped to us. I could call my mom. I could call my uncle today. And say,
call your uncle or your mom.
Can you swing by Gussie's? Mm-hmm. Ask how long these things.
How do they keep?
Yeah, do they keep all right? Because it is like a dairy type product,
and you need to chill it because they would still keep if you can ship them. But if they need to be chilled, obviously we would need to look into more professional.
Yeah.
Form of shipping to make sure that we don't die when we eat these things.
Yeah. We're not really sure how we got on this topic. But...
Well, anyway, Boston trip was great. Had a couple cannoli, and city I don't need to go back to. I don't know if you saw on Twitter.
So you're done.
Definitely ranked my big cities that I visited. Now, granted, you've been to a lot more. I'd love to see your list, by the way. Your top 5 major cities to either visit, and the key here is and return visit.
And return
So it's a city you've been to and you go, hey, I'd go back.
Yeah.
I'd have fun.
Yeah. I would need some time to, come up with that list.
That's the A-bit. Next week. Oh, I'm sorry. You played the wrong music, Steve. We needed to get to, really quick if you have it pulled up, it's time for your review. We are well past due.
Oh, of course.
On the entirety of the series of WandaVision.
Oh, yes. Right. So here it is. The official WandaVision theme song. I'm
so furious at you.
I'm days away.
Me and Rusty and I. Mm-hmm. So perturbed with you.
Okay.
How many episodes in are you? That's about what I expected. Can I get a promise from you this week to watch 2 episodes?
2 episodes?
It's much less than...
Listen,
I'm trying to make bargains so this bit doesn't die with like 6 movies to go. Because that's where we are.
I've made it, 80%?
Yeah, I mean, I know that this is different than what we were doing.
Yeah.
And
2 episodes? I'm going to give you 2 episodes.
I talked to Rusty as well because we had one guy in our DMs telling you that this was, 1, a terrible show, which he's very wrong on. This won a bunch of awards, and 2, is not essential. When I call him very dumb and very wrong, it is essential to watch. Okay. We made this agreement. You are...
Do I have to watch it? Because the next movie that I have is...
You can watch Shang-Chi. I'll let you watch Shang-Chi as long as you watch Shang-Chi and 2 episodes of WandaVision.
Okay. I will give you my word that I will watch at least 2 episodes of WandaVision by the time we record next week.
We are now 5 weeks behind schedule.
Yeah, we've fallen off quite a bit.
Thor: Love and Thunder comes on Disney Plus in 2 weeks for you.
But I do not have to give...
no review on WandaVision.
No reviews on WandaVision.
Not until it's done.
Maybe just a quick, I like this. This was good, blah, blah, blah.
And not until it's done.
2 episodes, I can do that. Because you said, again, they're 25-minute, half-hour episodes?
Yeah, the last 2 are longer, but yes. Yeah,
they're a problem.
All right, next week, we're going to have your review.
Well, not really a review. Just
Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, and not a review, but, you're going to watch 2 episodes of...
I am going to watch at least 2 episodes of WandaVision before next week.
I just can't believe this bit died 24 movies in.
We are going to get back to it. Look, I had a lot of stuff going on. Had family in town, vacation. All the stuff with the baby.
That's right. That darn thing.
At Steve and Kyle, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, we posted a picture of the thing. A big thanks, by the way, to the special guest co-host, Toby. You might have heard him tip-a-tapping, a shake every now and then in the background. Also, you can check out all of those polls on Twitter at Steve and Kyle.
There's a bunch. We're going to catch up next week.
Yeah, we'll talk to you next week. See ya. Apologies to Robert.